welcome.
Thank
Well,
you.
actually, I should be. Well, actually, this is my first time in your spot out here.
This is the
Yeah,
studio.
it's been a minute. I've been trying to come out here for a long time to do stuff,
Yeah,
and well, we're finally here. So
we made it.
yeah. So, well, welcome to the C12 Stories podcast.
Thank
I
you.
know
Excited to
this
be
is
here.
a lot of people don't know this is take two. We'll go behind the curtain a little bit. Wizard of Oz. But yeah. So this is awesome that we're actually taking this mobile. A lot of people haven't. I just announced that we are doing it mobile because the
Yeah.
studio that I was using is just went away for no bad reason, but um, so it's just like things worked out to where we're here now, and
Love it.
we're gonna take the show on the road, as they say. Um,
Catch people in their actual elements.
yeah, and I think it just adds a little bit of backdrop of who you are and your story, and then we could kind of go from there.
Cool.
Um, so yeah, so going back to how we met, it was through social media.
Social media, the
Um,
power of connecting strangers
right,
constantly.
the good things, right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
the
don't want
good
the
things of
weird
it.
slide in DM guys, but
Right. Yeah,
they're
well,
real.
yeah, they are.
It's okay.
I would imagine. I mean, I'm pretty sure that.
I don't get too many anymore.
No,
Nope.
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't attract a lot of men, so it's good.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So through that, I know I had posted a mini shoot using a cool like 19, I want to say it was 1970s Volkswagen Beetle.
Super dope.
Yeah, it was a cool shoot, and did like I think it was like 8, 9 shoots that day. It was a long day for me.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and that's how we actually met in
Yep.
person. Got some great shots, and then from there we did a Halloween theme. We did a Halloween theme shoot,
Yes.
which was really cool. A little collaborative effort of just some amazing photographers, models, people. Um, so talking about like collaboration and stuff like that, like where does I guess over the years of working in the hair industry or even modeling and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
is that something that just came natural to you?
I feel like I'm just a natural networker. So I really enjoy listening to people, what they have to say, what they do, and what they're offering. So the first time I meet somebody, I'm always like, "What do you do?
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? What is your offering? What do you got?"
Right.
And then I like categorize the people, and then I'm like, "Ooh, we could do this project," or "Ooh, we could do this." Or, the other day my sister was like, "Oh, I need a chiropractor that I can barter with," and she's a massage therapist. So it's like, "Oh, message this person," and then
Yeah.
boom, now they're bartering. So I love connecting people,
Yeah.
and mainly through art is probably my main passion.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're talking about art, you're talking about like painting art or physical
Everything,
like
anything that's creative. So
yeah.
like this podcast, physical mediums such as painting, hair, fashion shoots, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
any type of creative outlet where I can get other creatives together and we create a safe space and we get to express ourselves.
Yeah.
That is my ultimate juice or
Yeah.
jam.
And was that something that so in the process of what came first, chicken or egg, like hair or art?
Art, definitely
Yeah.
art.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to college at Gemini School of Visual Arts and Communications, so I did 2.5 years there. I hate graphic art. And my professor was like, let's just take the rest of your scholarship and to do hair. And I was like, what? I'm not a sellout. And he was like, but you're doing everybody's hair already. And I've been doing hair since I was like 9. I did my mom's
And you were
for
doing it as
photo
like a
shoots.
hobby or like a side thing or
Just to
just
make money.
okay, yeah.
People paid me to cut their hair. I didn't think anything of it. I mean, I've been doing my mom's hair and makeup. She was a lingerie model back in the 80s, and so I would do her shit or go on set with her. And so it felt like an extension of me,
Mm-hmm.
not, whereas art, like, fulfilled me.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
know how to describe it. It was weird.
Right,
And
yeah.
so for me, I was like, oh, I'll just charge this person $40. I'll get a haircut, and now I'll go buy a new paintbrush.
Oh.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it happened. And then I started beauty school, and I was like, whoa, this is art on people. People are the living canvas. And not only am I doing something on them, but I'm making them feel amazing. And so then internally that became that passion. It like all kicked in because the
Yeah.
whole reason I love art is that it's able to do that with somebody's head of hair.
Yeah.
And so
And you get different canvases every
every
opportunity.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get the backstory and who they are and where they come from, and then come out visibly for them.
Yeah.
And so it's like putting a crown on them and them instantly feeling better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with photography, I know I've talked about this with plenty of people and even you. It's like that's how I feel with my photography.
100%.
I'm able to just capture something and just freeze frame it, forever.
Yeah.
And people are in the moment for weddings or family photos. Whether they even know they're getting photographed or not. Like that's a moment that'll last forever. And yeah, it's always cool when you see that to someone or present it to where it's like, oh man, I didn't even see that. That's kind of cool. So yeah,
You get to capture the special moments.
right. Yeah,
The
exactly. So
memories.
yep, yeah. So and then yeah, they're forever, and that's why I've always marketed that when it comes to
Yeah.
photography, and like because people were like, well, why do you cost so much? All you do is just click a button. I'm like, no, no.
No.
I see things that you don't.
You're
You
saving
know.
core memories.
Yeah, and it's just yeah, and it's just whenever I get that moment, especially when I'm editing photos.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it happens with you when you have someone in your chair when you spin them around for them to see it.
Yes.
That's that moment of like, oh man, like
I can't believe I look like this.
right,
I can't believe this happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's times and then it's like that's it.
And that's life.
And I've actually had a moment where I actually teared up myself. It's
that's
it's a
amazing.
wedding photo. I'll show it to you sometime. It's like one
You're
of
gonna
my
have to insert it right here.
it's one of my favorite
Yeah.
photos because I try to edit it in color and I couldn't get it, and then something just told me hit the black and white button,
Yeah.
and boop, and it's like there it is, and like
Done.
literally teared up. So
That's
so I mean, so
amazing.
that happens to you, I would imagine,
It does.
quite often in the chair. So
does,
tell me
yeah.
tell me a moment like I know we've talked about before. There was a moment for a husband and their mom and their family.
Yeah, so I had a client where the mother had brought her daughter in. Her
Mhm.
daughter was probably early 30s and she was diagnosed with cancer. And so we did a wig. Beautiful redhead. She had natural red hair. So we matched it with a synthetic wig. They didn't want to do human hair at the time. And she got to wear that wig for probably a couple months, which was really amazing. And she felt good and felt confident. And then
Yeah.
she passed away.
Mm.
And it was really heartbreaking, but also beautiful in the sense of not her passing is beautiful, but the way that her husband handled it is he wanted to preserve the wig that she had been wearing so that his children could have it. You know,
Oh,
because
at
it
home.
smelled like her and like
Yeah.
all these things. And her kids were really little.
Mm.
And he ordered another wig, and it arrived the day that the mortician was doing her up. And so he wanted to make sure that she still looked beautiful
Yeah.
in that casket and preserve her, and so that everybody who remembered the way that she was and who she was and the vivacious woman that she was,
Yeah.
he did that, but then he was still able to maintain the other wig for the family
Yeah.
present. So that was it was very sad, but also very powerful in knowing that like it is so much more than just hair.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that-
That's super powerful. Yeah, I could definitely see, speaking of my experience with my dad. I mean, it's actually a little
Oh.
silhouette of him, but it's the same thing. Like I can't visually see my dad like physically how he was. I was there when he passed, and when I start thinking about it, the overlay of what
Yeah.
that dad did for his family just takes over. Like no matter
Yeah.
how much I try and force myself to see it, I can't.
Right.
If that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the power of what photography or doing hair
Absolutely.
is it gives people that, whether it's on themselves or on someone that's moved on. Yeah, you can't beat that. Like that's just a moment and a feeling that you just can't
Yeah.
you can't replicate.
No, it's,
Like,
it's
at least I
really
mean you
powerful.
can, but it's different for the different people that you mimic that emotion
To get it
for.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So moving on from like transitioning from art to hair. I don't know if we want to call it being forced to do it, but it
Yeah.
kind of worked out that way. Um, I know a lot of people know about your journey with your own hair.
Yeah.
I know whenever I was early on and watching you on social media and stuff like that, I remember there was a moment where you actually shaved your hair.
I did, yeah. I've
Yeah.
shaved my head 5 times in my life. I think that shaving your head is a great reset. I think that anybody who's struggling with anything, like hair holds trauma, so just get rid of it. And so the last time, the one that you're talking about that I did was I had finalized my short film.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd already produced it. I hadn't made it public yet or anything, but I was like, all right, done. I've made it. And the short film, you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my personal story of surviving sexual abuse from ages 2 to 14.
Yeah.
And it was really just like a victim to victor call, and just like doing this grand circle and stating that the cycle ends with me.
Yeah.
And it was just my like freedom piece. I don't know how
Yeah.
to describe
Yeah.
it, where I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm done. I'm not going to carry this anymore.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
want to carry it anymore. So I shaved my head after it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reset.
Yeah. So is there like a moment where, I know you say you've done it multiple times, but does it, is it harder each time or is it easier each time? Like, or it just depends on what's going on in that moment that makes you want to do that.
I think, yeah, it's more of like what's going on in that moment
Yeah.
that makes you want to do it. I think it forces you to combat what femininity is too.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So there's all of this underlying, like one point I just did it because I was like, I don't want to be known for this, and like, who else am I? And so then you shave it for that reason. And you know, you'll be forced to play with different makeup looks or maybe change your outfit or whatever. And the importance is like, no matter what, it's so interesting. Is like, I'll have clients come in and they're like, oh, I want a bob, but I'll be hideous, or I have a round face or this. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like, there are certain looks that do look better on people. I will hands down agree with that. Right. But if you walk in a room confident, it's going to look fucking amazing. Yeah. And absolutely. That's on your energy that you bring in and you carry. And so when you shed that hair or that layer, it forces you to step into a different level of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It's kind of like, you know, it may be an extreme example, but like when people like they lose their vision or they lose their hearing, or you know, everything else enhances somehow. Like you know, like I would imagine, like, I mean, I've shaved my head before, but it was just because it was hot and it was football season. So, you know, but yeah, so like, you know, when people lose something else kind of emerges as like the driving force.
Another breakthrough.
Well, I mean, I guess who they are emerges.
Yeah. More of your essence can be there.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, talking about the most recent time.
Yeah.
And the short film, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. I'm just kidding.
No, you're good. So let's talk about the history or the backstory of that. I know it came from a poem that you wrote.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk about more just like the backstory of the short film, and we'll wrap it up with the short film.
Yeah. So I'd done a lot of intensive therapy over the past 20 years, a lot of different modalities and so forth. And I don't know what was really going on, but I had a client come in and she like threw herself down in the chair, and then she just continued to apologize. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry this. I'm so sorry that. And I'd already been milling around like some of my own healing and story. And so her saying all of that, just, I was fucking over it. I was tired. I didn't want to hear I'm sorry anymore, because I feel like as a woman, we've had to say it so much. Sorry for taking up space. Sorry for existing. Sorry for being too loud. Sorry, right? And we're just like programmed to say this all the time. Like people walking up and you move over, right? But I was already here. Like it's so like, but, and then you move and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Right? Like I'm sorry. And it's
apologizing for no reason.
Like, why?
Yeah.
You just moved over. It's not a big deal. Like, chill. So I went home and I just wrote everything out, and then I wrote that whole poem in 3 minutes, and then I was like, you know what? It's more than just a poem. It's like reclaiming myself back, and I want to inspire other people to reclaim themselves. Right. Yeah. And so, especially if you've experienced SA and like losing autonomy and not getting to explore the things that were taken from you. And so the whole short and the short film is about that experience and like how to reclaim yourself back in the end. Yeah. And I'm not sorry for who I am. I'm not sorry for how unapologetically I am. I'm me. It's late. It's dark. I've said no. Now I've said goodbye. Yeah. Right? And it's just like, now I know I'm worth every fight. Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really powerful. Thank you. It really is. I remember seeing it at the Trauma to the Treasure. Yeah, we
event
ran
that
the
you did.
fundraiser that
Yeah.
we had you come out
Yep.
and share
Yep.
your art, which that was another way of collaborating with
Yeah. It was a
artists.
lot of great,
It was some
great
really good
collaborative
artists.
things. It's always I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. When you get just that group of people that have a we have a different agenda, or we
Yeah,
have a different end game or whatever, but the underlying or the undercurrent is all collaborative, creative, just expression.
self-expression.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was really cool to be a part of that. And it's just, I appreciate you even having me out there, which
Of
was great.
course. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really cool just seeing. I remember there was, you said there was a 15-year-old girl that I guess wrote one
Yeah, she
that
never
in that
read
moment.
publicly before, and she
Yeah.
wrote it right then and there. She was inspired by all the other artists, and
Yeah.
she got up on that stage and just,
Yeah.
that was amazing. I was
Yeah.
like,
I was actually
it's
looking at my
ballsy.
archives of that. I actually have some photos of her reading.
Do you?
So I'll have to get
Aw.
those to you somehow, or
Yeah,
to
I'll
her.
send them to her,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just really cool. And I remember there was like some interactive stuff. There was kids there painting with on this big, just giant
Yeah.
canvas that was on the ground, and it was just really cool. And just like, you know, and at the end of the day, it was just raising money for a very great cause.
Yeah, we were partnered with Sabbath Foundation, which is for veterans who experience PTSD,
Yep.
and then also Safe Alliance, which helps women and children.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. And it was storming. Remember, like
I remember that.
half the
Yeah.
guest list wasn't able to make it
Yeah.
because it was crazy. So I was like, oh man, we're not gonna raise any money, but
Yep.
we
I
still
remember that.
pulled through. I think we raised 7,000, which
That's
for my
amazing.
first fundraiser, like I thought it was great.
Yeah. I mean, I always, maybe coming from the service industry, is as long as you walked out with more than you walked in with,
You're great.
you're good.
Yeah.
But $7,000, someone that's, I mean, that, I don't even know if there was a goal in mind or anything like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was, but to be able to walk away with that to go to two
Yeah.
great causes. I mean, me as a veteran, like, I'm like, thank you for that.
Yeah, it was really
Like,
cool.
I don't need it, but I know there are many other veterans that do, that, unfortunately the VA system is not entirely great. So when people like yourself do stuff like
Yeah.
that, it's a help,
It's
and
an amazing program.
yeah. So, so the short film
Yeah, it was amazing.
from a poem that you wrote in 3 minutes to a short film that's, I think I remember we were talking about like the power of three was like really heavy.
Yeah,
In
it was
this.
really heavy with this. So 3 minutes to write. It's 3 minutes of a film. It's like 3 minutes and 33 seconds or something, which is crazy. And then it took us 3 days to film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have just said that. My bad.
Yeah.
Repeat.
No,
But
you
yeah,
didn't.
everything
No.
was like 3, and so it was really cool. I released it after the 3rd year. I've helped a family who came forward to help them file charges and so forth, which was really cool. I've inspired a lot of women to come forward. I've had men share their stories with me since I've gone
Yeah.
public, which was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it ended up, it's been a very powerful piece on how much healing it's caused for other people that I didn't expect,
Yeah.
even within my own family.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on it, like men have reached out to you.
Yeah.
So talk about that. I mean, I know that's I don't want to say it's a non-issue, but it is.
It's huge.
Like, I'm not sure how to word that kind of phrase, but
I think
it's a big
there's
deal. Like, it's also
more-
happening to men more than people would like to admit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Children, just children in general. Like,
Yeah.
that's the importance of teaching self-touch to children and really getting down with them. But I would say it happens to boys just as much as it does girls. It just doesn't get talked about because society has this way of being like, oh, bro, you liked it though. That was your babysitter. Or, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it becomes this like whatever. And I think it was Mike Tyson where one of the interviewers were mocking him because he came out with his story and he was like, dude, not cool.
Yeah.
Like, and he shut him down. He was just
Yeah.
like, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh, you know.
Well, yeah, I think he realized it's Mike Tyson. He probably
he's
just
gonna beat your
he
ass.
could, yeah, he could probably kill me
Yeah.
like real
I'm
quick.
pretty sure it was Mike Tyson. We'll have to like fact check that.
Yeah.
But it was.
But still,
Yeah.
whether it's Mike Tyson or me,
Right.
Like
But that
it's
is
it
what
would,
happens
yeah,
though, is
yeah,
like men get those types of stories shut down, and it's unfortunate because it's very real, and at the end of the day, you shouldn't be touched unless you want to be touched.
right,
And children don't understand those sensations, and nobody should be giving them those sensations.
right,
And that's
yeah,
like the biggest thing when I do victim therapy or talk with other people who have survived that may have eventually ended up enjoying the sensations, like recognizing that that is a body response, that it is okay,
mm-hmm,
and what happened is still very, 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 very wrong.
right, yeah,
Just bottom line,
yeah,
not okay. And so I've had men who have reached out just to share their stories. They're like, oh, I told my mom or I told my brothers, and then it just got dismissed, or I got laughed at, or I got mocked.
yeah,
And the same with women who come forward. It's always the same story. My mom knew about it. My brother knew about it. This person knew about it. The 90s were really different. So a lot of these stories are from people
very,
from the
very different,
90s
yeah,
where it was just like, well, why were you there? Why did you put yourself there? Well, I'm 8. I don't know.
right,
Like,
yeah,
why did I decide to eat ice cream yesterday?
right, yeah, yeah, and I could see, yeah, I could definitely see that. It's like in recovery myself, you know, yes, I have a part in things, but not every part is like it doesn't make the action right. It
Right.
doesn't make the
Yeah.
act like what happened. Yeah, I was there, and maybe there was like a little part of my brain that was just like I shouldn't be here,
Right.
but I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Like that's someone I that's someone I live with. That's someone
Right.
I trust. At least I think I trust. And then like
Fair.
kids especially like they don't. Not that I'm saying kids don't know,
Right.
but there is a I would say there is a thing about just having that gut feeling, that vibration of just like
Yeah.
something's not right.
And you have to
Um,
honor it. Yeah.
and I guess like you were saying, just being able to give kids that little bit of that little nugget of knowledge of like, hey, like trust that sometimes, like trust that instinct, that
Right.
feeling, and you can say something.
And feel bold in it, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
always talking to my son about it. Like we have a family friend that is kind of like bully for a lack of word. Like they're very loving and I love them, but they're always like teasing and antagonizing, and my son is more
Mm,
sensitive,
yeah.
and so he'll kind of shut down. And so we've been talking about just say, hey, why you want to pick on me? I'm a kid.
Right. Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah.
Like why? And so he's been
Mm.
doing it, and then the person like was like, oh,
Oh. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, and so
Yeah.
just like giving your children the voice
Yeah.
and the okay to be like, no, I don't want to hug you. I don't have to hug you.
Yeah.
My mom says I don't have to. Like
Yeah.
giving your kids the power to do that is
Yeah.
priceless.
I'm learning that as a stepdad of a 14-year-old now. Yeah, she's and I'm trying to work on it as we all are as parents,
Yeah.
right? Like yeah, like whenever I speak in a certain tone, even though I'm tone deaf to myself, and this is me admitting that, um, you know, for whatever reason, pride, ego, like I feel like I want to be right all the time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my 14-year-old is just like, you don't always have to say something.
Facts.
I'm like, but I'm not trying to say it. No, and then like I'm trying to justify the reason why I'm trying to say it, and like I'm just, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
You're like, I don't. Sometimes silence is more powerful.
literally just go back to what I just said, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, I think. Oh man, so talking about that empowering um, children to do that. Like looking back at your own like journey through. I guess just kind of not go into super huge detail, but like looking back, like how does your experience kind of like how can you like describe that kind of like in a brief like nutshell of just like because there might be someone that watches this and they're
Yeah.
going through it and they're like I hear what she's saying but like
Yeah.
how do like because it still feels right, it still feels good, it's a automatic response to what
Right.
our bodies feel like, and they might be enjoying it but you don't like like how does someone that's gone through what you gone through gotten
Yeah.
the help that you have like how would you help someone navigate through that?
Well, every case is so unique that
Mm.
it's hard to like pinpoint what would be the way to do it. I know that when you're little, the grooming starts young, and so you believe this person, you trust them. The biggest thing is realizing that I guess I would speak more to people who haven't experienced it more than the people who have, because the people who have experienced it know exactly what I'm talking about, but those that don't get it, and so they're like, well, how did it happen, or how did it get here, or how does it feel good, or things like that. And it's like we have this idea as a society that when you're being abused, it's aggressive, it's violent,
It's
it's like all of this stuff. But when
right.
you're a child being abused, or somebody who's in a narcissistic relationship, it's slow. It's
Yeah.
slow, and it's kind, and
Methodical.
it's methodical,
Yeah.
and there's love bombing, and there's
Mm.
reassurance, and typically it's happening to kids who don't have parents who are super involved, and so then now they have somebody who's really involved in their life,
Right.
and it's this whole trust building. It's not this like horrific graphic scene that takes place. And then for me, like as I got older, it was like, this is not okay. Like this isn't what's happening to my other friends. This isn't what's going down. And I was always vocal, and so that's part of the issue too. Is that the Me Too movement wasn't a part of my life then at that time. So
Right.
I would say, hey, this is what's happening. And my mom's solution to it was we would pick up and move. I would always sleep in the same bed with her. We did file a couple times, but because we were on the run, it didn't really work out. So
Right.
just somewhere in me always had this mindset of this isn't my life, this is just a moment in my life. And I would always ask myself, okay, well, what now? Okay, like what now? And I've been
Right.
journaling since I was
Yeah.
9. So to anybody that's experiencing this, that's listening to it right now, I would say find some way to stay connected to yourself at all cost. So that way when you get to the point where you can heal, or to a safe space, you have access to that, and that you can reclaim and reconnect with yourself much faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that's my, it's my
Yeah.
best guess.
Yeah. No, that's great. Like again, coming from someone that's, I've never I've never experienced anything like that. You see it in movies,
Yeah.
like, but it pales in comparison to what actually is really happening, and then to hear that, men are going through the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and guys out there, like, it's okay to say something as
Oh my god,
well. Like,
please speak up.
yeah,
Please. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. It's very powerful. All the things that you've done with the short film, your poem, and just the collaborative things that you've done, and I would imagine, and it's I know recently it's actually helped several people. Most recently, there was one case
Yeah.
that we talked about before, that that your short film kind of
It
somewhat was a
like
catalyst to.
opened up the family closet.
Yeah.
And so I didn't expect for it to do that. But yeah, I've had two other family members come forward. We actually shared an abuser. And we went and filed the youngest victim on his was at the time she was 14. So we went and we filed, we did everything. And I am happy to say that after 2.5 years, we went to court and he got life,
Yeah.
which was insane and unheard of, especially in Texas. And
Yeah.
yeah, Donna King was our judge, and she was just like, bam. And her final statement was incredible. She like called him up, and I won't say his name, but it's not hard to find.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying his name to protect him. I want to put that out there. A lot of people are like, oh my God,
Yeah.
say
No.
his name. You can look me up and you can find him. I just legally can't say his name with
Right.
character defamation, because it
Yeah.
wasn't my story that put him behind bars. It was this young girl's
Yeah.
who did. I was just a character witness letter to show that there was a pattern.
Pattern. Right.
Same with the other woman who came in, just to show that there was a pattern.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would scream his name. Trust me.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but the judge called him up and she said his name, and she was like, the things that I've heard in this courtroom today are things I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And yet somehow you've been met with forgiveness and kindness, not once, but twice.
Yeah.
And being a man of the church makes this all much worse for me.
Mm.
And that is why I sentence you to life.
Yeah.
Because he was given so many opportunities. And he still continued to do this over a time span of like, the oldest victim is 60 and I'm 36. and then the youngest is 14. So how many
Yeah.
in between?
Wow. Yeah.
Right? Like it's a preference.
Yeah.
He had a target market. And then to find out even further into that, that his abuser was his uncle, who is now serving life, who has 40 victims.
Wow.
So it's like so deep rooted
Yeah.
into like my bloodline.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not just my bloodline, but it's a lot of people's bloodline.
Yeah.
A lot of times it is family and people that you trust and love. Like my kid doesn't do sleepovers. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I don't get, nope. I'll go with him. I've had parents like, I've experienced
Yeah, you've
it.
experienced.
That day, I felt like I healed so much already with all the therapy that I'd done. And then to get that was the first time that I actually slept 8 hours. Like I wasn't worried that anybody was going to come into my room in the middle of the night while I was sleeping, tell me to pretend to be asleep, act a certain way. And I didn't realize that I was still subconsciously holding on to all of that.
Yeah.
And so that was crazy.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot of work. A lot of work. Just like
keep going.
therapy and just self-talk, journaling. I know you've kind of mentioned you journal.
Yeah, I've been journaling since I was 9. I try to do 1 to 3 pages a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I want to write a memoir one day.
There you go. Yeah. So to wrap, so I know we got really heavy there.
Yeah.
But again, all great things is just like about speaking up, empowering yourself, always say something, and just don't be afraid of just the outcome of speaking the truth. I do think there is, you're onto something about like what society and social media, the bad parts, at least what I'm talking about, movies and all these other things just have conditioned us to, withdraw, stay within, not speak up and stuff like that. I did watch that movie. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's called It Ends With Us.
Oh, I do want to see that.
It's an amazing movie. It's about, it's not about, it's about drama or trauma, I should say.
Yeah.
And and there was a scene where the title of the movie gets spoken by the main character.
That's cool.
And it's like, and it made me think of like your story and stuff like that. It's like, wow, it's a really powerful movie. I recommend watching it. It's really good. Because I guess Hollywood is on Blake Lively and Glenn Powell right now. They're the hot things right now in Hollywood.
Oh my gosh.
They're everywhere. But it's okay. So I want to wrap up because we have this has been in the background this whole time, and it's been staring at me in the face.
Who are you?
Like so let's go back to the hair thing, and like like wigs are a part of what you do as well, and about the empowering and stuff like that. And if you follow her on TikTok, they're so fun, all the different hairstyles and colors.
Ridiculous.
It's just, I think and it also when you put on a different wig, the girls, or the ladies, does that, and each of them have a name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
a personality
and stuff like that. So
and everything.
yeah.
This one, so pretty much all my pink ones I call Bunny.
Okay.
So Bunny is like really fun.
Yeah.
I love her. I like to put her in pigtails, all sorts of stuff. She actually needs a good brushing because she went to a couple concerts.
Oh, there you go.
She's a little wild girl.
Yeah, she's
a
living
little
it up.
wild. You know, you might catch her at Burning Man. She just lives her best life. This is Bunny. Right now I have Jessica in, so this is a fake ponytail. I like to wear the ponytails. They make me feel I don't know, it's like sassy, a little bitchy, but in like an approachable way.
Right.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like that girl's kind of, what is she?
Like you want to approach her at the bar, but
yeah, you would never go near me at a bar with this. There's no fucking
way.
way.
Okay, right.
No way.
It's like you want to, but you know you shouldn't.
Absolutely don't come near me.
Yeah.
Like leave me alone.
Yeah.
Jessica is not here for anybody.
Yeah.
Just herself.
So out of the ladies, is there a favorite? Like people have a favorite kid.
My new favorite is Scarlett, but y'all can't see her.
Yeah.
She's way up there, but we'll insert her down. I just did a recent 1940s 50s photo shoot for a jewelry store, and so we did her, and I colored it and made it red, and it was so nice to be back in red because that's who I actually relate more with.
Okay.
Is my redheaded self.
Yeah.
But I'm allergic to hair color now.
Oh no.
So we have wigs.
Hey, we got wigs. There
we
you
got
go.
wigs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that helps other people that come into your and
Yes.
come here and sit in this chair that I'm in right now, and they can't experience doing vibrant colors and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But they want to play, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we just need to normalize that wigs are not just for medical reasons. I think that they're meant
Yeah.
to add to self-expression, your
Yeah.
creativity. Maybe you want to embody a different character this day, then do it. Just do
Yeah.
it. I encourage people to just dress up
Yeah.
however they want.
Well, because I think also too, because someone could have want to do that, but like doing it just in what everybody sees them in the everyday life,
Yeah.
it doesn't. Like it becomes like a show or like a fake.
Right.
It gets received as something that's fake or like not who they want to be that day or whatever. But then when you give them,
I wear them all the time.
yeah,
Like at big theater kid, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. It's like everybody knows now. I mean, there's 32 stylists in here, and they're all like, "What the hell is Shamrea doing? Who is she today? What is going on?"
yeah,
Like, I
keeping
can't help
everybody on their
myself.
toes.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. It's being wickedly authentic.
Yeah.
Just maintaining yourself.
Yeah, yeah, wickedly authentic. I love that.
Yeah, I just branded that, or trying to brand it, so then I can hopefully build like a program and help other people just stay in their authentic self.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess then that's kind of like what's kind of in the
It's in the creative
yeah.
vault. We're working through
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and also
just stay
too,
tuned.
is that gonna like kind of turn into some advocacy work with SA?
I would
and
love for it to. I'd love to partner with SAFE or any other organization that works with children and women that are overcoming SA. I think it'd
Yeah.
be cool. And men, of course.
yeah, yeah,
But children particularly. I love working with children and teens
yeah,
and just educating parents how to talk to their kids
yeah.
about it.
I think that's a big thing too. I think that could be that's something that's very, yeah. I think also too. I think because maybe I'm guilty of it too. Is like that can't happen to me.
Yeah.
Not talking about like SA in particular. I'm just talking about anything. Like
Anything.
I won't get in a car accident.
Yeah.
I won't. Like whatever the case may be. And then when it happens, you're like, oh,
damn, what do I do?
crap, what do I do now? Yeah.
I
It's
feel
like,
like that's like anything in people's lives is like it doesn't affect us until it hits our doorstep, and then we're like, oh my god, it's real.
yeah.
Yeah.
And not to say that I want to get into this whole like scared like living life like behind a plastic bubble
No.
and stuff like that. It's just like
Yeah.
no, like you can't not be over prepared
Yeah.
for stuff that could happen in life, right? I
Right.
mean, I'm not saying we need to be doomsday preppers or anything like that.
I want to come to you.
Right? Yeah,
That stepdad
I've
is
seen
not
the,
around anymore.
I've seen those shows. Those things are some people
Amazing.
get crazy off the grid.
Amazing.
I'm like that's
amazing.
I mean the ingenuity to be able to do that. Like forget how much money that costs, but
I know. I
yeah.
worry about their mental state, but I'm very impressed with them.
Yeah, I mean heck, come and prep my house.
Please help me.
And I could get a nice walk-in shower or something.
Just want to be 12 feet underground, please.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
With a collective rainwater system.
Yeah.
That'd
So
be
yeah,
cool.
I mean, I'm looking forward to all the things that you have
Yeah.
coming on the horizon as far as like advocacy work or more art. I know I need to head to Dark Horse to see your art
Yeah,
installation.
the interactive art piece.
Yeah.
It's up and running.
Yeah, actually, I have the book here that you gave me.
Yay.
Which is really cool. I've been reading through it. It's actually been on my coffee table.
It's a great coffee table book.
Yeah, it really is. And it's just, words of affirmation, people just putting their heart on a Post-it note.
Yeah.
And
Some of it's positive. Some of it is dark.
yeah,
Some of it is really funny.
yeah. Yeah, it's really cool at the Dark Horse, right?
Yep,
I know
Dark
they
Horse.
understand they wanted that piece there.
Yes, they asked for it.
Yeah,
So
because it was at the
there.
Trauma to Treasure event.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just really cool. And then I know you said your son was
He did all the
he
photography.
did all the photography in there. And gonna be coming for my job soon.
He might. Watch out. He likes to do more cinematography. So you're
Yeah, oh, that's all
Yeah.
right. Well, then I could be his behind the scenes
There you go.
when he makes it.
Good
Yeah.
for him.
No, but this is a really cool piece.
Thank you.
The the short film, if you haven't seen it yet, it's I'm Sorry. It's on YouTube.
Yep, public.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's an amazing piece. It's powerful. Um, I get goosebumps thinking about it, watching it, and especially at the Trauma and Treasure event when I watched it with just everybody there.
Know,
It was just
so
like
cool with
it was like
everybody.
the it's like that breathtaking moment of just like, oh man, like it
Yeah.
was like it was you could hear a pin drop
Yeah,
in the
it was
room.
heavy.
Yeah, it was really heavy, and I don't know. I just think it just drew people's hearts together for a common cause that's needs to be talked about more.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Full
So,
heart.
well, I
Awesome.
appreciate you
Well, thanks
having
for
me
having
here.
me.
Thanks for
Oh
having
yeah,
me.
you're here in my space.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Yeah.
in your chair. Maybe I'll put a wig on before I go and get
Do
a.
you want to put the pink one on?
Oh, should I put the pink one on? All right, let's do
put
it.
Bunny.
Let's
You
put Bunny
might
on.
feel sassy. You
I
don't
might feel
know.
sassy.
You might feel a little
It might-
sassy with the mustache.
It might look
and
weird
the
with
wig,
it might look weird with the mustache. We'll see.
or
All right.
it'll look amazing.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Do
Okay,
it for the
hold on.
gram, right? Is that what
Do
they say?
it for the gram.
Oh my gosh, I look like a rock star. Oh my gosh, this is.
David Grohl, watch out. Look at you.
Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh.
Do you feel pretty? Do your little hair flip. Oh.
Oh my gosh, I got the hair flip down.
You
Oh.
gotta do like one hand. There. Oh. Well, on that note, I think today is a fabulous day.
It's a fabulous. I feel like I'm back in the '80s.
Yeah, you look great.
Glam rock.
That's good.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Look at me.
Pink's
Oh,
a
this
good
is
color.
great. Yeah, pink is not a terrible color. I like
It's
it.
not a
I like
bad
pink.
color on you at all.
What do they say? Real men wear pink, right?
Real men wear pink.
There we go. All right. Well, again, thank you so much.
Thanks
we're gonna
for having me.
This is how we're ending
This
this,
is
right
it.
here. This is great. There's no other way to end
Yeah.
this.
We love you guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.